Hi guys, firstly apologies for not having uploaded any videos of late. Super busy with commission work up till Christmas. I had some deadlines on some magazine articles and I finally managed at least a few days off over the Christmas break, so I hope you all did too. Anyway, back to it. I'm on my first commission piece of the year here. It's a double cat portrait, 14 by 18 inches, and people asked me for a quick video because this will tie into my next tutorial, which is all about black fur. That's my next downloadable tutorial, which will be out later this month, start of February. Main feature of that is a black spaniel, but I am incorporating other types of fur into it, so including this black cat, which is short black glossy fur with lots of blue and red undertones, and also in there I'll include some different textures like poodle fur and possibly sort of like long cat hair or even horse hair. We'll see anyway. Back to this one. So this again is the Albrecht Durer pencils by Faber Castell. If you've watched my other videos and you know my work, you know that I often use these as a base or underlayer for my portraits. Here with the black fur, their reference photo threw up lots of blues and purples, so along with the purple colours there are some indigo, my favourite blue, indanthrene blue, but the owner did let me know that this cat Willow in the sunshine, also when the sunlight catches his fur, lots of reds show through as well, so chestnuts. I've used the Morton violets, I've used light flesh, dark flesh, and then mixed in with those for the warmer areas, the chestnutty areas. I've used the warm greys to just highlight over it, and in the cooler areas I've used the cool greys. So I'm just adding the water. The support for this one, sorry, is Anthracite pastelmat as well. So again, this base layer, people think, oh, I use the base layer to speed things up. Nope, this is an additional layer. All I find it does, it gives me a really good base to then start using my dry pencils over the top. For the tutorial, the actual full tutorial, I've used Albrecht Durers wet and dry, but for this piece I've chosen to use the Albrecht Durers for the base. Once that's dry, I'm going to go over the top with the Polychromos. Now the Albrecht Durer, when they dry, they have got a soft sort of matte finish, but with the Polychromos, because they're oil-based pencils, they do give a slight oil base sheen to the finished piece, which is what I'm looking for with this cat, because he has got short, shiny, glossy, sheeny coat. The other cat in the background there, when I come to do that one, I'll do the same kind of base, but I've already decided I'll probably use a mix of polys and pablos with that one because I want a creamy, fluffy look to the fur. So I don't use the same method or pencils for every single piece that I do. I look at each portrait that I'm going to do, each subject, and I choose the method and materials that best suits that subject. So examples, if someone came to me with a really fluffy, long-haired Maine Coon cat, I might go for it and do it in pastels on pastelmat, or I might pull out the velour and really go and enhance that fluffy fur look. It's just something you learn over time. You judge as soon as you see the reference images of like, well, yeah, that'll look amazing done using that method. Sometimes I've changed my method part way through and decided, no, this isn't actually going to work so well with this cat, because this dog, once you get down to actually working on them and you're really looking at the fur detail, it's slightly different texture to what you originally believed. Anyway, working my way down here using the Pentel water brush, aqua brush. As you can see, I'm dunking it in some water to the side as well, just to rinse off the extra pigment, and I'm wiping it off as well because I don't want the black to go everywhere. I want to add the water, and that's all this is doing, is adding water. It's not painting. You're not painting. You've already painted by placement of that pigment using your pencils earlier on. This is simply sweeping water over that pigment, bringing it to life, a bit like those magic painting brushes, those magic painting books you used to have as a child. Add water and the colour springs to life. Exactly what's happening here. And again, all I use it for really as well is to sink the pigment into the pores. The pastel mat is like very fine sanded paper, so lots of pits to the paper, and this sinks that pigment into those pits, so it gives you a really good base to start with. And it's that you can put so many layers on this pastel mat, as I've mentioned before. It takes lots of abuse. You could add lots more water if you wanted to. It doesn't buckle. You can use a knife on it, which I will do at the end, especially on the cat in the background to texturize the fur. So we're coming to the bottom now. As I said, this will tie in with a tutorial. It will be available on my website to download. And it is based mainly on a spaniel, but it will cover all the other types of fur. And I'm a little bit further on with this, so if you do go onto my Facebook page, you can see the full development and the finished piece of this one. I'm not quite finished yet, but in the next day or so I do hope to finish it. I'm pretty much there with the cat in the background now, and then I'll work over both cats right at the end to balance the lighting, because they were put together from two completely different photos. Cat in the background was a tiny speck on a wall in the distance, and the black cat was sat on a picnic table. So I put the two images together. I've added in some greenery using pan pastel for the background, and I've added some grasses growing around the side, and I'm going to place the black cat probably on a pathway, and the other cat is sat on like a red brick step. Last bit of water going down, and then we'll leave this to dry overnight. Very important in the summer, lots of warmth, it dries a lot quicker, you can get to work on it in the same day, but this time of the year I'd rather leave it overnight to dry, otherwise the pencil just slides off and you can't add any of the detail. But probably about another 10 layers of pencil will go on over the top of this to build up those layers, and then the fur detail comes right in at the end, that texture comes in right in at the end. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please do subscribe if so, and I promise I will try to get more videos up there. Thank you.